Good evening, y'all. How are y'all doing tonight? Yeah, welcome to Montgomery, Alabama. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight. We are the Montgomery Jazz Alliance. We are a very, very newly formed organization with the purpose of just providing platforms for jazz to flourish in the central Alabama region. So when Geneva called me, I was so excited to do this because this is kind of a dream come true to bring jazz to the youth. And also, I'm a New Yorker, so it's cool to see some other New Yorkers. And at Congo Square is where all of these cultures get together, and it's where you get all the ingredients for what becomes jazz. All of these people would come together and share what's called polyrhythms, right? Which is basically rhythm on top of rhythm, and then also they would share all of their unique melodies from their cultures. And they would do this weekly, like going to church. They would get together at Congo Square and do this all the time. So we're actually, to kick this off, we're going to do a little thing. We're going to test your rhythm. We're going to do a second line, but we're actually going to do just what they do back in the day, with a thing known as call and response, where I do something and then you do something in response. But also we're going to see if you can at least clap on too. Just start off the second line. I'm about to do what's called a call, right? It's kind of like a bugle call. So I'm going to go ba-da, ba-da. And y'all are going to go, hey! Give me a normal shuffle. Thank you all. It's always a good sign when people are dancing.
blues and kind of incorporated it with these traditional gospel songs that you would hear in church music. It kind of came up with this song that basically embodied the struggle that he saw happening in the communities around him. The title references like labor songs that were sung by enslaved Africans and later by black prisoners on chain gangs in the South, which were still prevalent during the Civil Rights Movement. These songs set the rhythm for this grueling work, so when you hear us play, you'll hear kind of like the you can almost imagine someone literally breaking rocks on a chain gang. And that's what the artist wanted you to envision, was get that picture in your mind, because maybe you've never seen or didn't know that was the thing that people do to other people, and it was something that we needed to draw attention to. And it's something we don't talk about a lot of pop music, but in jazz particularly, jazz is a way of kind of showing a cultural light on something that maybe not everybody knows about, but something that people should know about. So fast forward about 30 years in the future, some of the things are still going on that were going on in the 60s, right? And some things are not. And this artist named Kenny Garrett, he grew up influenced by the music of Ned Adderley, music by Cannonball Adderley, his brother, a famous saxophone player. And this artist named Kenny Garrett, he was influenced growing up through the civil rights music to write music that wasn't just about the oppression that people faced and all the things that were going on, but about the possibilities that could be when all of us work together, about unity and about perseverance and what happens to that when it all pays off. And he wrote this really awesome song called Sing a Song of Song. And it's got a really kind of deep gospel connection, like that last song I was playing organ. It sounds kind of like a church you would hear down on Dexter Street where Martin Luther King used to preach and give sermons. And it has that kind of church vibe, that uplifting nature of like gospel singing. And this is kind of a further continuation of that, not necessarily talking about the struggles of being on a chain gang, but of being liberated, of being free, of finally having the equality, but the work that still needs to continue. And improvisation kind of plays a key role in that too. You notice like we have like the song that he kind of can sing the melody to, but then we sort of make up solos and melodies and stuff that goes along. And there's all this interplay within the band between the drums and the keyboard and the bass and Trevor and trombone and all this different stuff. And that's all part of coming together to work together. All of us have different backgrounds. Joe's from New Hampshire originally. I'm from Washington, D.C. Des, you're from Huntsville? Yeah, and Trevor's from New York. Like, we all have very distinctively different backgrounds, but we come together to make one sound, one thing as a band. And one of Kenny's things with Sing a Song was showing what the possibility of can happen when we all work together in one common struggle.